Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. I mean, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at crossed in the last 3 years are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, because they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing a significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentle way.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and the scene walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive pardon, whether he can issue The president's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
that
you
would
can't?
Be a gross abuse
of
the presidential
It's a
pardon
gross abuse
President-
of presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, J.B. Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, J.B. Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons is
Yes, it's only on
a powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt. Or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jimmy
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he
about
get a
this.
pardon also? Wasn't he on
Well,
that committee?
The seeking of pardons is...
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. Are you going to condemn that pardon?
You know, Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One who, in fact, one drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama-Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators linking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The audacity!
Of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Like the boy asked, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Avocado Stably, is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. I bet you there's a few of them there. And didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
End of the show, every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Woo woo! Hump day! What am I doing? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to. Excuse me. Let's try that again. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and I'm pissed off. Right? I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. Which is better than being pissed on for most people. Anyway, hi. So I got this notification this morning from YouTube. From YouTube that and I'm just going to get this out of the way. This is why I'm pissed off, and sorry for the naming the show after it, but I'm pissed off. I got a notification from YouTube today that I am been on YouTube for 9 years, which I have been on YouTube for 9 years. My 9-year anniversary on YouTube. And for 7 of those years, I've been doing this show, The Morning Night Live, with me, Dawg Knight. 7 years I've been doing this show, a little more than 7 years. And it just pissed me off this morning because, you know, on the little notification it said over there, see where it says view your analytics. So I decided to view my analytics a little bit, which I do occasionally, but it's like whatever. And so I go in there and I'm start scrolling and whatever through it, and I'm like, okay, so in 9 years, I've accumulated just over 2,200 subscribers, which is paltry for someone who's been on YouTube for 9 years. I know I've been talking about this a lot lately, but it's starting to get on my freaking nerves. And I'm going to do some things about it, try to do some things that are better. But anyway, because I got to do some better, right? I admit that. As far as trying to grow, because I want to grow now. I want to make this a little more viable for just at least, side hustle, even though I'm not going to change what I do as far as my opinions aren't changing. I'm not going to start doing that. This is what I'm going to talk about when I do my show. But, I've been lax in a lot of things, and so I'm starting to do some other stuff. But anyway, the point is, I went into my analytics, right? And so I'm looking at, okay, all time, whatever, how long I've been doing this and that and whatever, and how many views and whatever. And my most popular videos, okay? Now, I went in there and, I went in my top 10 all-time videos. And I noticed that, some of them are just, well, my top video of all time is when I mentioned Nick Freitas, who's a very popular guy on YouTube and Instagram and all that shit. But then I went into my analytics and I was looking at like how many times different things that I do are even put out there on the algorithm. And, I told you a long time ago, and I talk about it all the time, how, when I first got on YouTube, I was just doing videos, and I did this like 10 videos in, maybe. I did that video on James Damore, and I got my almost got my channel taken down for agreeing with the guy. And then because I was harassment and this and that, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm just making an academic, look at this thing, right? And I go, so look, but I'm looking at my algorithm stuff and all the little data they give you, and it's like, they barely even disseminate this show. I have, I have 2,500 followers. I barely get this show even sent out on notifications. At least that's what I think it is. Less than a couple hundred, and usually they're late, whatever. The people who watch the show regularly get the notifications fairly early, but they're not even sending it out. And I'm like, after 9 years of doing it, 7 years, let's say the 7 years. So they say, oh, if you do regular whatever stuff on YouTube, you should get X number of viewers and whatnot. I've been putting out content 5 days a week consistently for 7 years. And, you should be able to you should have by accident more people watching than do. And look, you guys have been freaking awesome. You people who are here already right now and people who show up in the show on the daily basis. I couldn't be happier with it. And that's why I keep doing the show. I've contemplated ending this show 5 years ago. But I'm like, no, I've got some people who come on and we have fun and we do stuff and it's fun. It's, you know, I love doing it. But it's annoying that YouTube doesn't even send out notifications about my stuff. And so I guess what I'm going to do, you'll see the next few little short videos of me, because I've been spending all morning while I was working thinking, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And, you know, the short videos help a little bit. But, you know, if you saw my by the way, here's a poll, and I'm going to put this in a poll because I want to make sure I get an answer for this. Did you watch my oops, I'm going to say, did you watch and share my last short video? Either, because I put these in the links yesterday, either on, and I don't make this a job for you. It's not your responsibility to help me out. I appreciate those who do. I appreciate the people who regularly give tips, the people who regularly share the stream, the people who regularly come in the chat. It's not your job. It's my job. I appreciate all of you who do that. But I'm curious if you happen to watch that video on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, which I put in the links yesterday. Did you watch and share? And if you didn't do both, say no. If you did do both, say yes. Whoops. Oh, that's a Q&A. What the hell am I doing here? I don't want to do a Q&A. Copy, cancel, poll. There we go. That's my question. If you did both, or in fact, I got an idea. Let's give you 3 choices. Watched, and shared. And the third option is nope. There you go. There's the poll. I'm going to leave that up today because I'm just curious. Okay. If you did, great. If you didn't, great. If you didn't neither, great. Whatever. It's, you know, like I said, it's not your responsibility to do that, but I appreciate those who do it. That's all that I'm saying. Anyway, thank you. I've got to see. I've already got a small bullet in the tip jar. Thank you. And you are the new Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much. Who says happy YouTube anniversary. Also, not to be that guy and point out how they slighted you, but did you notice it says 9 years of videos and not 9 years of great videos or even good videos? Anyway, happy anniversary, PDawg. Thank you very much, sir. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, so anyway, it's my 9-year anniversary on YouTube. I'm pissed off about it because, you know, there's just no, you know, loaded question. A, I never watched shorts, no Instagram or no TikTok. Well, that's okay. That's fine. Again, great. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just curious who does and who doesn't, and what if or not. So that's in the poll. Take the poll and see that. And it's in my links from yesterday. The last 3 things. You don't even have to have Instagram or TikTok to do that. But you can. And if I link one, I'm just curious if you've watched it. So there you go. So go if you didn't and you want to. Oh, maybe I'll play it today. Did I play that one, or did I make you watch it? Or did I make you do it? No, I didn't play it. I didn't play it on purpose because I wanted you to see it. Just saying your question is poorly formed to gamer useful information. Have you shared? Okay, I don't need this. I can take down this. Have you shared the stream today? Question is, did you watch and share my last short video, either on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok? Watched? Okay, got it. Okay. No, I know. It's not, well, I don't know. It's poorly formed. For me, no, it is useful information for me. Maybe it's not useful for you, but it makes it. Anyway, all right. So, but I'm just pissed off because well, of course, I don't know who I'm pissed off at. Either the YouTube algorithm sucks for me, which means YouTube sucks, or it's just me who sucks, not knowing how to make this work. But like I said, I'm going to be doing some stuff you'll notice soon. You'll probably notice even by my last video, the way I did it was a little different. Should we watch my last video? For those who haven't seen it, Anyway, let's say hi to everybody and get this thing going. By the way, if you haven't shared the stream, you still can do that, and you don't need me to do it. First, the chat today, Mr. Avocado Stiabli gets the bell. Yes. Also, good morning to my friend Special Can Acid on the honorable mention list of my favorite Canadians. TC's in the house. Good morning. The Pope is here. Pope Tyrannius, the Blessed Lich, the third. His message of the day is, blessed of the divine dead. Each day he has decree you find joy and happiness inside his creations. There you go. Also, good morning, Plague Trucker Zach. What up? Attack Alpacas in the house. Johnny Boomer Tech's doing a job. Tyler F is here. What's up? My second favorite Canadian, Unacceptable Views, is on the board. Roasted Opinions, welcome for your periodic showing up to the show when you can, and I appreciate that. Dom O'Leary's here. Willie is on the chat, and also Blue Eyed Scream. Awesome. So, and how many people are here so far? 13. That's pretty typical. Oh my God, 13 people and 12 likes. Yeah, that's the best ratio we've had in a long time. That is fan-fucking-tastic. Love it. By the way, did you know this is episode 1569, baby. Oh, yeah. Episode 1569. That's sexy. Stop it. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Let's see who's shared the stream. How's that sound? That sounds like a good idea. Here, let's move this over because I want to leave that there. Notifications, where are you at? There we go. Thanks to the people who have shared the stream already. I appreciate that. I think you need to refresh just the like. I don't know what that means. Huh? Well, no, it pops up slower. 16, 15. It's doing good. 16 people, 15 likes. That is a great ratio. It's amazing. Okay, let's see who's already shared the show. Of course, Somnambule Nation doing that work. Oh, I think, and I reposted that. Resolute Germ with the Let's Go. Oh, and that guy. What's his name? I know this wrestler, but I can't think of his name now. He pretends to be the rich cowboy guy. That was his shtick. I am the one who did not like it yet. No TNA, no like. Well, we'll work on that. Also, we're actually on Puerto Rico with the train coming through. We're going up oh my God. I wasn't expecting that shit. A train with a loop-to-loop. Holy moly. I've never seen that before. Okay, that's a pretty cool AI, actually. Also, thank you. Oh, better to be pissed off than pissed on. True. TC also dropping the link on your own. People are somebody beat Somnambule Nation. That's amazing. And Ty Alexander with the daily woo from Ric Flair. There you go. Oh, wait, a repost. There you go. And better to be pissed off. That's funny. Yes, it is better to be pissed off than pissed on. Unless you're into that shit, of course. Also, thank you, Somnambule Nation, for the little gift there. Because, let's go. Despite the illness, you're not feeling well? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you get better. And, easy for me to say. Somnambule Nation, Resolute Germ, Reaction Puerto Rico, and Ty Alexander retweeting the show. So greatly appreciate everyone who does that. Please go on to X or wherever and drop a link to the show and tell people, hey, motherfuckers, we're here. And don't start with the we're here, we're queer, get used to it, because we're not at least one of those things. Oh, yeah, a little Ren and Stimpy. That's Stimpy looking kind of terrible. All right. Also, today, of course, is Hump Day. Did I put any of that on the screen? I don't even know if I did. It's Hump Day, people. So I'm going to scroll slowly through the Hump Day trending topic on X just to make sure I don't put anything that's not supposed to be on YouTube on here. Good morning, Patriots. Bless you and your families. A drone shot of the sunrise on the Brazos River right outside Glen Rose, Texas. Have a blessed Hump Day. Hump Day! Oh, it's even a video, but I don't know why. And also, let's see this one. Oh, you're really cute. And that's not even the best thing about you. Aw, that's so sweet. Then, of course, we got, what's that bear's name in from that movie? Yeah, Hump Day. He's doing the hump thing. Let's see. Here we go. Good morning, beautiful souls. Happy Hump Day. Oh, have a wonderful Wednesday. Beautiful bubbles bring out the kids in us. If I could make giant bubbles, I'd be tickled to death. Have you ever built one of these things that, yeah, Ted, there you go. Have you ever built one of these things where you make the giant bubbles? I have. My nephew was little. I made one of those, and it was only about the size of a garbage lid, but it made a gigantic bubble. It was really cool, and we played with that for a while. And oh, here's a happy update. This is funny. If you can see it, this is obviously a car chase. Now there's wait a minute. Who are those faces? That looks like Barack Obama. That looks like Donald Trump. Who is that? I don't know. I don't know who that is, but anyway, that's funny. I don't think that's going to happen. I told you yesterday, I don't think that's going to happen, but who knows? They'll call it the weaponization. And then finally, here you go. What is that? Oh, that's from Saturday Night Live. Anyway, there you go. There you go. There you go. A nice, tasteful TNA for Avocados Diabli. You get, there you go. Now you can hit the like button. Good morning, K-Show. How you doing? All right, enough of that shit. Enough of the hump day. Oh, wait. No, I do have one separate one that I saved. Where's my... Oh, yeah, here. This is the hump day message of today. So 30 years ago, it was 30 freaking years ago. I can't even believe this was 30 years ago. 30 years ago, the band Four Non-Blondes asked us a question we still can't answer. If you get the reference, put a W in the chat. I don't know why a W, but if you understand this, put a W in the chat. I will fill you in shortly if you're not sure. AD, of course, because AD is a music aficionado, and so is K-Show. Oh, everybody's getting it. Yeah, all right, you all get it. And I said, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, what's it, hey, what's going on? That's awesome. All right, so there you go. That's in the links today. All right, moving on. Now, yesterday during the show, or after the show, about 1 in the afternoon, I got the news. And it was, look, I really didn't understand or even have an appreciation for this until I was in my mid-30s, like long after this guy, became famous. Although there was a couple songs I liked. We lost another one. And I said yesterday, always too soon. Yesterday we lost Ozzy Osbourne. He passed away. Now this was, I don't know if it wasn't necessarily a shock. Well, maybe because he just did his final concert. Like it's almost like he hung on until he had this final concert, and then he said, okay, that's it, I'm done. Ozzy Osbourne, known for his tenure as frontman of Black Sabbath, passed away at the age of 76. His death was announced by his family, indicating he was surrounded by love all the time at the time of his passing. Osbourne had recently performed what would be his final concert in Birmingham just weeks prior. The music world has reacted with tributes from his former bandmates and fans alike. So here it is. There's the announcement that they put on his X account. It is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family and surrounded by love. We ask everyone to respect our family's privacy at this time. Sharon, Jack, Kelly, Amy, and Lewis. Things, other things trending because of that is Crazy Train. Obviously, some of his biggest songs, Crazy Train, and War Pigs from his, back from the Black Sabbath day. By the way, if on the top of this link, have you ever heard T-Pain do a cover of War Pigs? If you haven't, go into this link today and click on it. It's amazing the job he does with War Pigs. It's really good. And I didn't, because I never thought T-Pain could sing. But anyway, yeah, War Pigs is trending because of that cover. And even Ozzy Osbourne himself said, "This is the best cover of War Pigs ever. Why didn't you guys call me?" So even Ozzy praised T-Pain's cover of War Pigs. Anyway. So anyway, also No More Tears, one of his great songs from the 80s. Oh, that's wild. And then Coming Home, which, by the way, at this concert, and if you want to listen to it, it's the top link here, the entire cover. And it was almost prophetic, just him singing this song in a way. And now he has gone home. He's gone home to that other place. He went over to the other side. So, good morning, Shrapnel, by the way. Dom O'Leary. Did I ever say Dom O'Leary? You were here earlier. Never mind. Well, I mean, not never mind. I'm glad you're here still. Yeah, just, it's a little haunting, though, because I watched this morning, just listening to it while I was setting up. And, his voice is kind of gone and whatever, but he sang this song, and it was still really powerful. So, anyway, and then... okay, by the way, let me click this off. So there's this thing, Trisha Paytas, you know her? She's that kind of internet famous weirdo that, she, for some reason, people thought she was hot, but she's actually kind of fat and weird, but she did a lot of makeup and stuff. And she did a show with Ethan Klein for a while. Anyway, Trisha Paytas, if you don't know who she is, she's this internet famous chick, right? And she's having children, apparently. And every time Trisha Paytas has a baby, which she just had a baby the same day Ozzy Osbourne died, somebody dies, famous dies. And so she's trending on the internet. Here it is, Trisha Paytas, 3 for 3. And so when her first child, giving birth to her first child, a baby girl named Malibu Barbie Paytas, that's a stupid name, Queen Elizabeth died. Okay? And then she announced the birth of her second child, her daughter Elvis, and Pope Francis died. Well, then she has her, you can't see that, can you? Then she has her third child, and Ozzy Osbourne dies. Now I'm not sure how I could compare these three: Queen Elizabeth, the Pope, and then Ozzy Osbourne. So you got the Queen, the Angel, and the Devil. I don't know how you do that, but anyway, and then there's people speculating on the internet. Well, gosh, geez, maybe next time she'll have triplets. What if Trisha Paytas is waiting to have triplets so she takes out Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Elon Musk at the same time? Oh, that's so funny. Anyway, that's the Trisha Paytas curse. Somebody famous dies. Oh, all royalty? Yeah, I suppose you could kind of say that. Her womb is the well of guff. I don't even know what that means, but I know it's not nice. Anyway, so yeah. And by the way, her third child, did you hear what she named her third child? It's trending right now. Trisha Paytas named her she named her daughter Elvis, and she named her third child, wait till you get this, Aquaman Moses Paytas Hasseman, whatever the fuck her last name is now with her husband. Aquaman. That's her third child's name. Yeah. She's a weirdo. All right, let's get into some news. By the way, one other thing, and I don't do a lot of sports stuff, but this is kind of wild. Y'all know who Venus Williams is, right? Serena Williams' older sister. Venus Williams, tennis star back in the day, whatever. Well, Venus Williams has done quite an amazing feat. She has become the second oldest woman to win a singles match in Is this the U.S. Open or Wimbledon? What is this, Wimbledon or oldest Oh no, just any WTA match. After Venus Williams, after becoming the oldest WTA match since 2004, she said, "I had to come back for the insurance because they informed me this year that I'm on Cobra, so it's like I got to get my benefits on." That's kind of funny. So anyway, congratulations, Venus Williams. You know, back in the day, people kind of treated the Williams sisters like villains, but they become beloved former or tennis stars, and they all grew up. And so, yeah, oldest woman to win a WTA women's event. I think the oldest was Martina. Martina played up until her 40s, wasn't it? Anyway, when will we snort ants for Aussie? Hey, you know, knock yourself out. Furry Kitten, what's up? Nice to have you there. Wait a minute. Furry Kitten says, I shall call my third child Air Fryer Keurig Earbud the 9th. I didn't know your last name was Earbud. I thought it was Kitten. Anyway, thank you, Furry Kitten. All right, so here's some news headlines that I wanted to get to today. What was my topic is I'm pissed off. We talked about Aussie. So we got that all covered already. So let's go through some different news items that were interesting to me this morning that I pulled. I pulled all my news items from Ace Day, although there's still a couple more trending topics too that I have news items for those too. So first of all, now I don't understand this. So the Trump administration gets to choose their prosecutors and judges, and the Justice Department gets to choose their prosecutors and prosecutors and attorneys that are employed by the Justice Department. But apparently, a judge in New Jersey has blocked Trump pick Alina Habba as New Jersey's top prosecutor. Now, I'm not sure how that is. So listen to this. Listen, this is incredible. And separation of powers, people. Separation of powers. But let's go through this. A panel of federal judges decided on Tuesday not to keep Trump pick Alina Habba as the New Jersey's top prosecutor. The court appointed prosecutor Desiree Lay Grace to replace Habba as interim U.S. attorney when her 120-day term expires, according to the order by the U.S. District Court for the District of New Jersey, Judge Chief Renee Marie Bum. B-U-M-B, but it might as well be B-U-M. And apparently this was must have been an interim appointment. And so, which is crazy. Attorney General Pam Bondi responded by announcing hours after the judge's decision that the DOJ removed Grace as Habba's deputy. So the DOJ said, not so fast, bitch. By the way, today's coffee is brought to you by Big Daddy. She said this Department of Justice does not tolerate rogue judges, especially when they threaten the president's core Article 2 power, she wrote. Most of the judges in the District of New Jersey are Democrat appointees. Federal law allows district courts to select a U.S. attorney when an interim appointment expires. President Donald Trump nominated Habba, who served as his attorney, to serve as interim U.S. attorney in March. He nominated her to serve in that position permanently on July 1st. The nomination is yet to be heard or confirmed by the Senate. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of New Jersey did not respond to a request for comment. And so anyway, they said, speaking of Habba, there she is. Let's see. The rest of here it is. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche suggested the judges are trying to force out a U.S. Attorney Habba before her term expires at 11:59 p.m. on Friday, as opposed to 11:69 p.m. I blew it. Anyway, their rush reveals what this was always about: a left-wing agenda, not the rule of law, he wrote on X. When judges act like activists, they undermine confidence in our justice system. Alina is President Trump's choice to lead, and no partisan bench can override that. Well, they certainly think they can. So anyway, I thought that was fascinating. Well, there's some more news, or at least more... there's more information on that. Apparently now they've been hit with a misconduct complaint after booting Habba and replacing her with their own choice. The conservative legal group Article 3 Project is filing a judicial complaint against a federal judiciary panel of mostly Democrat-appointed judges after they decided not to extend Alina Habba as President Trump's interim New Jersey U.S. attorney. House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries corruptly gave 17 New Jersey U.S. district judges their marching orders. Fire New Jersey U.S. Attorney Alina Habba, wrote the Article 3 Project President Mike Davis on X following the panel's decision. And these New Jersey activist judges, 15 of whom were appointed by Obama and Biden, saluted. This violated Canon 2, 3, and 5 of the Code of Conduct for United States judges. Article 3 Project will file a judicial misconduct complaint. So we'll see where that goes. There's a lot more in this article, but that's the important part. So good. Why are the judges appointing anybody? Because Trump could appoint his own a new interim if he needed to, or reassign her as interim again before she gets Senate confirmation. So anyway. There's that. All right, what else I got here? PG Meat. Oh, yeah, did you hear about this? Apparently there was a bomb plot in a major U.S. city, and the feds have busted it up. A would-be terrorist has been charged with a bomb plot and manufacturing explosive devices. Michael Gann appears to have been... Wait, what? Michael Gann, Gann, appears to have been of an incendiary mind and suffering from explosive hatred for humanity. Wow, that's some wordsmithing. The Department of Justice issued a press release Tuesday with details about Gann and his attempted terrorism, as well as his lies to law enforcement. Quote, he manufactured at least 7 improvised explosive devices using precursor chemicals that can be combined to create an explosive mixture that he had ordered on the internet, stored at least 5 IEDs and shotgun shells on adjoining rooftops of residential apartment buildings at the Soho neighborhood of Manhattan, threw at least 1 IED onto the subway tracks of the Williamsburg Bridge, and subsequently lied to law enforcement about having disposed of his explosives and supplies in a dumpster. In March, Glenn posted a message on X and tagged President Trump, suggesting he may have been unhappy about immigration policy. Dear POTUS, I'm thinking just now and here in New York City that it is too bad that the wall wasn't built before the National Guard would have to come here for the protests and riotation, or would just drop a bomb on this place and because they seem to be coming and coming. So that's a badly formed sentence. Gann, 45, of Inwood, New York, is charged with 1 count of attempted destruction of property by means of explosive, which carries a mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison and a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. 1 count of transportation of explosive materials, which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison, and 1 count of unlawful possession of destructive devices, which also carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. So did you kind of figure out? Well, did you figure out what that meant? Like, is he mad about Trump policy or what? It's too bad that the wall wasn't built before the National Guard would have to come here for the protests and riotations, or would you just drop a bomb in this place? So he's like, he's one of those dickheads. He might be one of the right-wing dickheads. There's dickheads on both sides, right? Everyone knows that, right? We have dickheads, they have dickheads, everybody has their dickheads, and FTG. I know it's not Thursday, but fuck that guy. Anyway, and then they just talk about the kinds of shit he had, which I don't think they should. I wish they wouldn't talk about the ingredients of what he had, but yeah, they have in the article they talk about the ingredients and stuff. Don't give anyone else ideas. Just saying. Also, Pete Buttigieg. I don't know why I keep saying it that way. Anyway, apparently, so he was the head of the Department of Transportation, right? The Secretary of Transportation under Mr. Joseph Rahim Biden. And apparently he's a Democratic fun runner. No, that doesn't fun at all. Anyway, front runner for 2028. He's one of those, he's one of the guys they all look like, oh, God, he would be awesome. So anyway, here's how the article starts. Democratic frontrunner for 2028, Pete Buttigieg, is the kind of guy who could give California's Governor Gavin Newsom or Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass a run for the money. Karen Bass? No chance in hell Karen Bass is running for president, or at least, no, fuck that. She's about as charismatic as a, well, she's not turnip. That's Hakeem Jeffries. He's a turnip. Anyway, amid news of an aircraft near collision over North Dakota following a disaster similar military-civilian crash in Washington, D.C. in January, we learned about how he ran the cabinet office he once headed, the U.S. Department of Transportation. And here's the headlines from the New York Post. Must read, former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg has failed to replace outdated air traffic control systems while in office, with his agency instead shelling out tens of billions of dollars on a DEI agenda, according to federal spending records and airline industry, blah, 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 blah. So while he was breastfeeding his twins and telling us about his husband, with the move to Traverse City, he was not only not showing up for work during critical supply chain crises, when ships were packed up to enter ports, or berating airlines for price gouging and inefficiencies, he had billions of dollars to play around with and decided to spend it on DEI, not air traffic safety. Now, let me do my own little side here, okay? My own little side. Because people get pissed off when you start talking about DEI. And because, it stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Well, first of all, nobody gives a fuck about it. Diversity. Diversity should happen, and it will as people get more educated. And if you want more diversity in all sorts of aspects of the American life, make sure that people are graduating high school and learning how to do skills and getting jobs and whatnot. And diversity will happen. Diversity happens because of demographics, and our demographics are changing ever so slightly. But if you educate people, which apparently the Department of Education couldn't figure out how to improve, diversity is just going to happen. And if you let it happen through merit and whatever, the people getting better at what they do, diversity will happen. You can't stop it, okay? Equity, fuck that. Equity is just kind of is it a communist concept? I don't know. It's a Marxist concept where you think everyone should have the same outcomes. Never, ever is there going to be same outcomes. You're not going to have same demographic outcomes. Oh, well, this demographic does worse than this demographic, blah, 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 blah. No, that's just not going to happen. And inclusion, well, look, again, if you have great education and you get people to graduate high school, you get people everyone does what they're allowed to do in this great country, inclusion, again, that's just going to happen too. But forced diversity and equity and inclusion, which is what a DEI program is, and it's just a rehashed name for affirmative action, doesn't always get the results you have. But so he decided to spend almost half his budget on DEI instead of what the Department of Transportation is supposed to be doing. So, for example, but this article kind of unnecessarily starts talking about, this DEI pilot and this and that, whatever. We don't know that the pilot was a DEI pilot. She might have been a pilot for 20 years. She might have been in a training program, whatever. But apparently she did ignore the instructions of her instructor, and President Trump was blamed for the whole scenario when that helicopter flew into the jet, right? So, but yeah, so if you want to see here, let me make a link to that New York Post article too, because we can kind of go into that, I guess. I got plenty of time. I'm doing good today. I'm doing really good. By the way, hello, Ms. Wild Wolf is here. Nice to see you. Lord Stanhope's in the house. Did I already say that? I don't know. And thank you. Oh, here, we're gonna put the Post article out here. Thank you, Fluffy Ickle Kitty, and Fluffy Widow Kitty is the new Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day, dropping a $6 bill in the tip jar. I don't even know if that's real. Is that a real $6 bill? Anyway, it says it's good to hear you embrace the great phrase of dickhead. Now try knobhead or cockhead. Extra points for guttural vehemence. Cockhead. Is that guttural vehemence or knobhead? You fucking knobhead. Is that it? Is that what we're going for? Thank you for dropping a $6 bill in the tip jar. And you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Okay, so here's the article from the Washington Post. By the way, if you watch these motherfuckers, let me refresh this. All these motherfuckers who sound like they're in mourning over the fact that Stephen Colbert's losing his show a year from now. God, it's embarrassing. Anyway, here it is. Former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg failed to replace outdated air traffic control systems with his agency instead of shelling out tens of billions of dollars on DEI agenda, according to federal spending records and airline industry insiders. In one meeting, Buttigieg, who said to be eyeing a 2028 presidential run, told industry executives that air traffic control upgrades would just allow them to fly more planes. And so why would that be in his interest? Sources said, they used the frickin' sources said. Come on. Can we get a source that'll just say who they are? Tell me who the source is. Anyway, what his department was really interested in is handing out hundreds of diversity, equity, inclusion grants totaling more than $80 billion over 4 years. God, they could have upgraded in at least a few. $80 billion. How many, air traffic places control things could they have fixed and upgraded for that? $80 billion over 4 years. At least half of the Department of Transportation's entire budget for a typical fiscal year records show. Is that real? Half of the DOT's budget? Really? It says he was definitely pushing an agenda, an air industry official said, noting the transportation secretary had little or no interest and took definitely zero action towards air traffic control modernization. Buttigieg spent his time in President Joe Biden's cabinet blaming the airlines for the delays and vilifying the industry as a whole, while denying his department's DEI agenda led to any air traffic control staffing shortages, or was maintaining an ailing safety system that hasn't been updated since the Carter administration, sources told the Post. Now look, I'll spread a little of the blame out for everyone who's been in the Department of Transportation since the Carter administration, if there have never been upgrades, particularly the last 10 years. But if you spent $80 billion on something other than transportation, half your budget on something other than the actual transportation part of the Department of Transportation, you could have been doing something else. What was that bill they called it? The infrastructure bill or something? I thought that's what that was for. Holy shit. So anyway, the flying public paid the price, insiders said. At first, the Department of Transportation... Remember, because during the Biden administration, those accidents and near misses went to new highs, and somehow it's gone down this year, and I don't know if that has anything to do with the people in there or just, they finally righted the ship. I can't say it's the Trump administration's that stopped all this from happening, but whatever. That's who gets blamed or gets credit depending on which one you need, right? At first, the Department of Transportation and we were reluctant to say there was an air traffic controller shortage or that the shortage had anything to do with flight delays or flight cancellations, the air industry official said. Chris Meagher, spokesman for Buttigieg, rejected both claims and pointed to increased air traffic controller hiring under the former transportation big, I guess that's whatever that means, as well as software changes to improve efficiency of airport runways, new flight routes projected to cut up to 100 hours off travel time annually, and the Department of Development of Communication Technology to decrease flight delays. Biden infrastructure law also provided $5 billion to improve air traffic facilities, towers, and power systems, he noted. Suggesting that Secretary Buttigieg chose not to pursue air traffic control modernization is absurd, said Meager, adding that Biden's budget requested for fiscal year 2025 included another $8 billion in funding that congressional Republicans blocked. Well, maybe because they used $80 billion on something other than systems. Why? Holy shit. Secretary Buttigieg's focus was always on safety, not just aviation, but also on roads and bridges, and where 40,000 Americans die on our country's roads each year, fixing issues with air traffic control was a priority. Look, the fact that 40,000 people die on American roads every year has nothing to do with the Department of Transportation, and a lot of times it's just fucking user error and stupid people doing stupid shit, okay? That's why people die on the roads, okay? It's not due to, like, you're not getting 40,000 people, not even 1/10 of 1% are dying because a bridge broke under them, okay? So that's just dumb. So anyway, you get the idea. So there's a dispute on whether or not Buttigieg is spending $80 billion on DEI programs instead of systems caused any problem. That's what it is. All right, moving on. In the state of the legal system, appeals court smacks down blue state sanctuary law banning ICE detention contracts. I gotta take my watch off. You see that? This is my summer watch tan. If you only looked at my watch line, you'd think I was a white boy. Nomad, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Hammer time.
All right. Federal immigration authorities triumphed over a sanctuary law that sought to ban them from contracting with private detention companies in the state of New Jersey. More New Jersey. In a 2-1 ruling handed down Tuesday, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit ruled that New Jersey's law prohibiting businesses from entering into private detention contracts unlawfully discriminated against the Department of Homeland Security, according to court documents. A majority of the appellate judges determined that the state was blatantly violating the Constitution by regulating the federal government's power to enforce immigration law. Quote, New Jersey dislikes some of the federal government's immigration tools, so it passed a law with the intent to forbid new contracts for civil immigration detention, Judge Stefano Bibas, a Trump appointee, wrote in a decision. Joined by Obama appointee Judge Cheryl Ann Krause, that law interferes with the government's core power to enforce immigration laws. Its construction is admittedly clever. It seeks to sidestep the usual two-pronged test that courts use to enforce the bedrock principle that states may not regulate their federal counterpart. Still, we see the law for what it really is, a direct regulation on the federal government. So there you go. And the fact that an Obama appointee was the other judge that wasn't the two side versus the one side tells you that it's probably kosher. Now, speaking of that, the immigration stuff too, apparently Green suing to block alligator Alcatraz may have made a big mistake, according to a Florida official. Environmentalists suing to stop the detention center for illegal migrants known as Alligator Alcatraz. I wish they wouldn't have named it that. And because the hype is about, it's in a swamp, it's surrounded by alligators and giant snakes and shit. Look, it's also next to a giant runway where they can do deportations a little more expeditiously. But anyway. Environmentalists suing to stop the detention center for illegal immigrants known as Alligator Alcatraz did so in the wrong venue. Oh, no. According to a top Florida official who asked a federal judge buddy to transfer or dismiss the case. The Trump administration previously authorized a plan led by Florida Attorney General James Utemeyer to build a migrant detention center in the Everglades known as Alligator Alcatraz, and the Center for Biological Diversity and Friends of the Everglades filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court on June 27th to stop its construction. Executive Director of the Florida Division of Emergency Management, Kevin Guthrie, argued in a court filing Monday that their lawsuit was filed to the wrong jurisdiction as Alligator Alcatraz is located in a different county. Well done. All the detention facilities, all the buildings, and all the paving at issue are sited in Collier County, not Miami-Dade. Guthrie wrote, plaintiff concedes this point in their own declarations, which state that all the facilities, payment, and activity at the site are in Collier County. No relevant decision-making is occurring in Dade, Miami. So sounds like they fucked up. Okay, so that'll probably get thrown out or moved. Kim Delaney was, wait, why are we talking about Dana Delaney and Kim Delaney? Dana Delaney. Dana Delaney is the dark-haired gal, right? I don't know what show she was in. She's kind of cute, though. Okay. Yo, talking about all kinds of stuff over here. What named immigration center after Kim Delaney? Oh, I see. And then you're Dana Delaney. Okay, gotcha. Okay, never mind. All right. Also, let's see. By the way, now I didn't even know what this was. I just saw the headline: Ice, Ice, Baby, Ice, Ice, Baby, Ice, Ice, Baby. Ice, Ice, Baby isn't just for immigration. American automakers pivoting back to gasoline-powered cars. Well, we already knew this. Why is this a headline today? Well, yeah, or yesterday, late yesterday. There have been some intriguing signs that American automakers are re-embracing internal combustion engine vehicles. To begin with, General Motors recently announced a major initiative to expand production of its ICE vehicles, including SUVs, pickup trucks in Michigan. What do you mean ICE vehicle? What do they mean by this? Dude, read your chat later. Not now, but worth it today. Okay, come back later. The Detroit giant and many of its U.S. competitors have pulled back on some goals around production of electric vehicles as demand has been weaker than expected. GM continued investment in vehicles like the Sierra and Escalade calls into question its plan to end the production of gas-powered cars and trucks by 2035. Good, because I'm not buying one of them electric things. I'll buy a used, F-150 before I buy any new electric vehicle. The Escalade is currently being produced in Arlington, Texas, alongside other large SUVs such as the GMC Yukon, Chevy Suburban, and Chevy Tahoe. Production at Arlington is expected to remain consistent after the Escalade moves to Michigan. So they're building them in the U.S. The automaker will be adding production of the Silverado and Sierra trucks in its Orion Township, Michigan factory, in addition to existing production in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The gasoline-powered trucks and SUVs are among Chevy's biggest moneymakers, or GM's biggest moneymakers. GM told Reuters that the move would help meet the continued strong consumer demand. The plant in Orion, Michigan, was slated to be the home of the EV exclusive production facility. Oh, that's where they were going to, it was going to be EV only there. Well, the move builds on GM's plans to invest $4 billion in U.S. facilities, which the automaker announced in June. That announcement came after President Donald Trump earlier this year implemented a 25% tariff on imported vehicles and 25% duties on many auto parts imported to the U.S. So they're bringing some of their production back to the U.S. apparently for the large trucks. I know that a lot of their large trucks were being produced in Canada and Mexico. And then earlier this year, Stellantis, formerly known as Chrysler, announced that it's bringing back internal combustion engines for the Dodge Charger. Yeah, baby. I don't know why I said that. ICE is short for internal combustion engine. Well, thank you. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? ICE, internal combustion engine. Okay. Dodge Chargers, blah, 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 and Challenger will once again pack serious heat under the hood. Expect to see the return of the power of Hemi V8s. Oh, yeah. And perhaps some modernized inline six turbo options. While Dodge had teased electric versions of these iconic nameplates, the latest report suggests that internal combustion will remain an option for those who crave the growl and performance that made the Challenger and Charger household names. So there you go. They're going to keep their production of the ICE engines. ICE, baby, to go. Okay. Remember that church that they said got bombed in Gaza or Israel, whatever? And they showed these pictures of the damage to the church. Well, we talked about that, a week ago? Well, that may have been some takia. You know what takia is, right? Look it up if you don't. Israel police probe debunks Palestinian claims historic church not damaged in fire. Palestinian claims that Jewish residents set fire to a Byzantine-era church in a West Bank village earlier this month have been refuted by an investigation conducted by an Israeli news agency and new evidence released by the police. So there's what they were looking at. church is here and this is the part that burned, maybe. But I don't know. Who knows? I don't trust any news from over there, but the idea that, the idea that the Palestinians could have lied about it, yeah, that could be, who knows. Anyway, let's see. On Monday, the Israeli police said in a statement that the 1,500-year-old Church of St. George in the majority Christian village of Taba was not set ablaze earlier this month, and accusations of an arson attack are factually incorrect and devoid of any evidentiary basis. An aerial image released by the police shows that the fire was confined to a nearby open field away from the historic church. Contrary to misleading reports, no damage was caused to the Church of St. George in Taba. The fire was limited to an adjacent open area, not the holy site. Emergency service received reports from local residents, including both Israelis and Palestinian caller. So, and then they had a detailed investigative report published by Israeli news agency Tazbit Press Service, further debunking those allegations. Contrary to the Palestinian narrative, Jewish residents of the area were the first to report the fire near the church and rushed to extinguish it. The investigation found evidence of firefighting efforts by local Jewish residents and raised serious doubts about the fire's origin, casting a shadow over the political motivations behind the allegations. Now, maybe this wasn't in the West Bank. Okay, so I guess because there are some Jews who live in the West Bank. So yeah, that's interesting. Is anyone shocked? If you're shocked, if you are shocked and dismayed that may not have happened, as according to reports, put 2 giant O's like eyeballs in the chat. Okay, next, what else we got? Was it just yesterday when I said anytime they talk about, not having migrants there to pick your strawberries and do your crops and whatever not, was it just yesterday when I said, yeah, who's going to pick the cotton? Remember that? I said that yesterday. Well, today I pull up a headline that says, who will pick the cotton? Cory Booker was slammed for a video promising to protect illegal aliens. So, here I'm going to put this right here. Here's the video itself. Let's see the video of Cory Booker. Didn't I say the same thing? Here's the video that Cory Booker put on the internet. We'll skip the music. So Juan, Alonzo, Deborah, Oscar, Roman, Reyes, these are all labeled as crop pickers who are picking asparagus. Cory Booker put that out on the internet. He posted it. And so this says, the left cannot stop admitting that they only want illegal aliens for cheap slave labor. Representative Cory Booker posted this on X. He says, the hands that feed us, we see you, we will fight to protect you. And so this is a editorial, obviously. I have no words. My jaw dropped when I saw the post. I know people like Booker lack self-awareness, but still, a black man promoting cheap labor in the fields? Does anyone around him ever tell him, Cory, this is not a good idea? Who's going to pick the cotton? Hello, Selecta Boy. Yeah, boy. Also, America has a visa program that allows people to enter this country for agricultural work. The H-2A temporary agricultural workers visa. Yeah, that's the one I was trying to remember. It's the H-2A temporary agricultural visa. Here it is. Who can classify for it and whatever. So, the idea that we aren't going to have people to pick the cotton is kind of silly. That you don't need to come in here illegally to do it. You can get sponsored by a farm. It costs the farmer $100. Costs you $10 for 2 years. Everyone has the same basic question. Thank you for admitting you support slave labor. Others pointed out the illegal aliens who have murdered Americans, trafficked other illegal aliens, and brought drugs into the country. Well, look, that's a small percentage of them, but it's enough of them that we don't need to be important of their criminals either. Even if it's a small percentage, even if it's a smaller percentage of illegal aliens commit violent crimes than just natural-born Americans. Well, whoop-de-doo. That means we don't need more in any scenario. But also, the who will pick the cotton question can be answered by the H-2A temporary agricultural worker visa. Someone said the quote Booker used came from a Confederate general, but I cannot find any information on it. Well, that's it. That's one of those internet telephone things. Oh, this came from an internet general. And then 20 other people repeat it. And next thing you know, it'll be coming straight from Robert E. Lee. Yeah, no. By the way, I'm tired of the internet telephone game on both sides of the aisle. Fuck all of you people. If you're going to quote something or say something, make sure you know you're right. Because the same guy, by the way, I'll play that video today because if you didn't see it yesterday, you'll see it on this show. My short video about this idiot that's making a really stupid claim about immigration. Anyway, man, you're really embracing your party's forefathers who launched the Civil War because they were worried about who would pick their cotton, wash their bedsheets, and cook their meals. Yeah, they always say, oh, the maids in your hotel and the people who are picking your crops and, you know, the people who doing your roof. Yeah, who's going to pick the cotton, though? That's what I want to know. All right, here we go. There were 2,000 Confederate generals. They said lots of shit. Yeah, they did. And that's, you know, but yeah, if you can, unless you want to pick one and tell me which one said it, I don't think Cory Booker is necessarily intentionally quoting a Confederate general. Probably not. All right. Let's see. I moved on here. Let's see other things that were trending. Oh, Mike Johnson. This pisses me off too. Okay. And Democrats are just eating this up. Listen, what the actual, excuse me. Fuck is Mike Johnson doing? So Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, is giving them this bullshit. Because this is one of the left-wing influencers that I hate with a passion, but it's making a good point here. Major breaking. Speaker Mike Johnson says he'll suspend the House until September to block Epstein file votes and brags Trump's agreed. They're not leaders, they're accomplices. Cowards protecting predators. Never forget it. Now, the last part, fuck you. I'm until you can give me some evidence, sure. But listen, this is what Mike Johnson says in this. What he's talking about this.
Two questions. First is, did the president or anyone in the administration ask you to delay the resolution?
Okay, this is the question is, did the president or anyone in the White House or whatever ask you to delay the resolution, which is about opening the Epstein files?
No, but I as you all know, I speak to the president multiple times a day on a typical day, often, always. And what I know about the president's heart on this is that he agreed.
Did he say his heart on? What? I don't want to hear about the president's heart on. What are you talking about, Mike Johnson? Stir that shit off. Oh, no, he said heart. Heart on this.
Always. And what I know about the president's heart on this
heart.
is that
Okay.
He agrees with everything I've said here today. He wants maximum transparency, but he's also very insistent that we do not subject people who have already been victims of unspeakable crimes.
Sounds reasonable.
To further public scrutiny, and it would be a very
sounds reasonable,
dangerous thing to put those people's names out or to do a release of information in a way that is haphazard, where they could be easily unmasked. And so you have to be very careful about how you do that. I think we have a moral responsibility to do that. We have a moral responsibility to expose the evil of Epstein, and everybody was involved in that. Absolutely. And we're resolved to do it. But we also have an equal moral responsibility to protect the innocent. And that is a fine needle to thread. And we
he's
could all
not
give ourselves
wrong,
easy political cover
but
and come out and do something in a haphazard fashion. But I would not be able to sleep at night because I know our legal responsibility. I understand what the legal standard is, but more than that, the moral standard. Okay?
He's not
so
wrong.
We're going to do this, and we're gonna do it expeditiously. We're going to do it the right way. What is popular isn't always right, and what is right isn't always popular. At an 8th grade teacher told me that one time. I carried it with me my whole life.
Okay, great. All right, whatever. Okay, now, before I address Mike Johnson, Kitty will pick cotton. Thank you, dropping another tray in the tip jar. Greatly appreciated. Kitty will pick cotton. That's some funny shit. Who says, the Dems are really trying to cover themselves in their true colors, and that is a white Inquisitor cowl. And as an Indie-phile, Brit Selt, do I get special privilege? Yes, furry kitten, my friend. You definitely get special privilege anyway. All right. So why does this piss me off, Mike Johnson, and so on and so forth? Look, and I saw this is not original thought, but when I thought about it after I watched this little video this morning, I'm like, yeah, this is really bad on their part. Look, yeah, you can redact the name of victims, first of all. Number two, all this does, you go to recess early until September. Does this take it out of the news? Oh, hell no. Now you're going to have 50-some days before you come back into session. If you stop the session, you're going to have 50-some days of people talking about this shit instead of just getting it done. And look, there's going to be some bad implications from it. I know Pam Bondi has already gone and asked to have all the grand jury testimony, information released both in New York and Manhattan, where Jeffrey Epstein's trial was, where Ghislaine Maxwell's trial is. I know it's Ghislaine. It's funnier to call her Ghislaine. And the original Jeffrey Epstein trial in Florida. She's petitioning the courts to have all the information released from those. Great. But to just close a session early because you don't want to vote on this, or don't want to have debate on it, all you're doing is, it's a fucking Streisand effect. By trying to hide shit, people just want to look at it more. And all these Democrats are going to be, for a month and 2 months of total just flooding the zone with this shit. This is bad strategy for Mike Johnson. In fact, you get pictures like this. Oh, Mike Johnson's protecting pedophiles. Ask yourself why. Jessica Tarloff, this was already the least productive Congress in history, and now it's shutting down entirely because Mike Johnson is terrified of Trump and what might be in the Epstein files. The GOP's contempt for the American people couldn't be more obvious. All these fucking dickhead, whatever, left-wing influencers are having a field day with this. It's stupid. Breaking, Speaker Mike Johnson is next to announce he's shutting down the House until September to block a vote on releasing the Epstein files. Let that sink in. Yeah, it's going to be sinking in for 52 fucking days. This is dumb. This is dumb. Now here, what's this? Years ago. No, I don't care about that. That's all they're talking about. Mike Johnson has the opportunity to release the Epstein files. If Donald Trump isn't on the client list, why are Republicans so afraid? They might. Now, look. Maybe it was the same reason that the Biden administration is so afraid, and everyone's so afraid, because it's going to cause a great deal of upheaval. Okay? Oh, it is pronounced Ghislaine, exactly how I said it? Oh, okay. Well, that's... Technically, it's pronounced Helene. Well, that's... Ghislaine is a hangover from École Française. Well, yeah, Ghislaine's a lot funnier, though. So, it's pronounced see you next Tuesday. That, too. This is all kinds of pronunciations. Yeah, this is dumb on Mike Johnson's part, and it just pisses me off. Moving on. It just helps to be more pissed off. All right, let's finish up our stuff with the Obama stuff that's going on, because this is kind of wild. So Tulsi Gabbard's trending this morning because where's the thing she put on here? Let me just find. Here it is. DNI, Tulsi Gabbard. DNI, what is it? Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, posts this on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Let's give it its own link today. Let's see. Boom. She posted a thread on X regarding this, and let's read that real quick, and then we'll go through a couple of articles on it. Today, come on, computer, there we go. New evidence has emerged of the most egregious weaponization and politicization of intelligence in American history. Per President Donald Trump's directive, I have declassified a House Intel Oversight Majority Staff report that exposes how the Obama administration manufactured the January 2017 intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. Hi, Jen T. Oh, another of my Canadian friends. What's up? Yes, 9 years, and I'm still pissed off about it. Sorry, I'm welcoming you, though. They knew it was false, promoting the lie that Vladimir Putin and the Russian government helped President Trump win the 2016 election. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people, working with their partners in the media to promote a lie in order to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump, essentially enacting a years-long coup against him. Here are the top Obama-Russia hoax lies debunked by today's release. Lie. Putin and the Russian government helped Trump win the 2016 election. Truth. President Obama, former director of the CIA, John Brennan, and others fabricated the Russian hoax, suppressed intelligence showing Putin was preparing for a Clinton victory, manufactured findings from shoddy sources, disobeyed IC standards, and knowingly lied to the American people. Another lie. The fabricated Steele dossier was not used as a source in the Obama administration's 2017 intelligence community assessment of the November 2016 election. The truth is, not only did the CIA Director Brennan and FBI Director Comey, DNI Clapper, and others include the Steele dossier in the 2017 ICA, they overruled senior intelligence officials who warned them that it was fabricated and should not be used. A lie. Obama administration's January ICA was an independent intelligence community product produced with apolitical analysis. The truth is, Obama ordered the intelligence community to create an intelligence community assessment they knew was false, promoting a contrived narrative with the intent of undermining the legitimacy and power of a duly elected president of the United States, Donald Trump. Together, the ODNI, what? Oh, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence records released on Friday, the Justice Department's June 2018 report known as the Clinton Annex released earlier this week, and the House Intel Oversight report we released today confirm what many Americans have known. The Russian hoax was a lie that was knowingly created by the Obama administration to undermine the legitimacy and power of the duly elected President of the United States, Donald Trump. So, interesting. Now, someone here says, it isn't normal for the evidence of a crime to be released to the public. Why this time? Why not bring charges and prosecute? What justice is there in the court of a public opinion? I suppose there were no actual chargeable offenses. That's a good question. Here's my problem. And it's going to be interesting to see how judges interpret this, specifically for President Obama. Can they say, then they argue, oh, well, I was doing this as part of my duties as President of the United States. You just said that Trump had immunity for things that were happening in the normal course of being the President of the United States. Yeah, maybe. Depends on what judge you get. Another judge is going to say, well, no, you see, this is undermining the next president is not your normal duties as the President of the United States. Or will they say, no, you did this because you really wanted to find out this report, and this was in the normal duties, even though you lied through your ass. It's hard to tell, but all these motherfuckers. But, here's the thing, though. Wait, no man says Comey was and Brennan needs to go to jail as well as Obama. Well, Brennan, especially since he made provable lies in testimony to Congress, if at the very least, I mean, he could go for obstruction of justice. He could go to jail for what Roger Stone went to jail for. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a whole host of things that could happen. Anyway, so some of the articles about this, President Obama's office has responded to Trump's accusation of treason. It's outrageous. Former President Barack Obama's office claims that the Office of Director of National Intelligence, ODNI report indicating senior officials in the Obama administration orchestrated the Russian collusion hoax after President Donald Trump was elected it's outrageous. Obama spokesman Patrick Rodenbush issued a statement challenging the report released by Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard on Friday, according to a screenshot from the Hill White House columnist Niall Stanage. Who the fuck is that? Here's a statement from Patrick Rodenbush for President Obama. Out of respect for the office of the presidency, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with a response. But these claims are outrageous enough to merit one. These bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction. Nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes. These findings were affirmed by the bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee led by then-Chairman Marco Rubio. Oh, throw a Republican in there. The statement comes hours after Trump declared Obama is guilty. He's guilty, not a question, you know. I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. Trump told reporters in the Oval Office. So you can click that and listen to what he said. So there's that. And Daily Wire has a little bit about this too. Time to go after people. Trump wants severe consequences for Democrats who push the Russian hoax. President Donald Trump said on Tuesday, the Democrats, such as former President Barack Obama and Joe Biden, along with former Secretary of State and Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton, should face severe consequences for alleged involvement in the Russia collusion conspiracy. Now, look, we already know that the Steele dossier was a paid by Democrat and Hillary Clinton campaign fabrication. Everybody knows that. James Comey knows that. Brennan knows that. All of them know that that was all bullshit, right? And the idea that they didn't use that for any of their intelligence assessments was bullshit. I mean, we know that. And look, I have a clip. Hang on a second. I have a clip. Wait a minute. You got to see this. Because what that caused, okay, and here's, remember, you got to think about how this was reported in the media, okay? And I have a little example. Holy shit, what was that? I got an example. Sometimes you go on Instagram and some crazy stuff pops up or almost pops out. Anyway, where is it? Oh, please tell me I saved it. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, yeah, here it is. Hang on. There it is. Watch. This is your media in 2017. This is your media in 2017. Okay? Watch this. Oh, mute it.
Our democracy. Votes were definitely affected.
Let's start it over. Here's the media in 2017.
Russia hacking the election to elect Trump is the end of our
democracy.
Wait.
Hang on a second. Where's my hang on. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh, it's gone. Shoot. Okay, well, we're just going to have to use the electronic one. Never mind. All right. Are you ready? Let's try this again because this is important.
Russia hacking the election to elect Trump is the end of our democracy. Votes were definitely affected. Russia hacked the election to tilt it to Mr. Trump.
The Russians definitively hacked the election.
Russia did hack the election.
No doubt. The Russians hacked the election.
Yes. Russia hacked the election.
Fact, Russia hacked the election.
President-elect Donald Trump still not sounding convinced that Russia hacked the election.
The president does not want to come to terms with the fact that the Russians hacked the election.
President Trump says he still wonders if the Russians hacked the election.
If you can get him to accept that Russia hacked the election, see if you can get him to accept who won the Civil War.
If he admits it, it casts a shadow on his victory over Hillary Clinton.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Let's be clear, Russia hacked the election.
Definitively, Russia hacked
the election, and Russia is doing it again now.
Election-related cyber hacking.
Cyber hacking of U.S. elections.
Cyber hacking of the election.
Russia was cyber hacking the election.
Russia was cyber hacking the election.
The CIA, the FBI, NSA.
All of these intelligence organizations.
17 intelligence agencies.
All conclude that Russia hacked the election.
If we find out that Donald Trump just theoretically was colluding with Russia while they were hacking the election, that is completely impeachable.
This dossier alleged a conspiracy between the Trump campaign and the Russian effort to hack the election.
The director of national intelligence, the head of the National Security Agency, the head of the FBI, all of these intelligence experts saying Russia hacked the election.
The FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the former director of national intelligence, James Clapper, I mean, they've all said this. So to believe that that's wrong, you have to believe they're all involved in an elaborate conspiracy to get Donald Trump, which seems a little far-fetched.
Far-fetched, you say? Huh.
Russia hacking the election to elect Trump is the end of our democracy. Votes were definitely affected. Russia hacked the election to tilt it to Mr. Trump.
The Russians
Okay, let's just start it over. Huh. Now, can you imagine why there are still so many people making that claim since 2017? I mean, oh my God, the 17 intelligence agencies, the 3 directors of the different intelligence agencies, they just all said it, and it's got to be true, even though they came out later and said, oh no, the Russians didn't. They didn't hack the election. Now, they did put up some Facebook ads and wanted to influence people. Remember the Facebook ad of Jesus arm wrestling? Yeah, that was pretty. Woo, that was powerful. Thousands of people saw that in the thousands. Thousands, yeah. So yeah, the idea. Holy shit! That oh my God, and again, a lot of that was based on the Steele dossier, right? So let me see. What other articles I have here? Oh, there's one in the Federalist too. Top intelligence officials contradicted Brennan. No intelligence to support key Russian hoax claim. So, by the way, John Brennan, ignored objections. The assessment will stay the same. Top officials working in the intelligence on an intelligence community analysis about Russia's interference in the 2016 election were overruled by CIA Director John Brennan. According to records exclusively reviewed by the Federalist, the records are related to an ongoing criminal investigations into Brennan and other top intelligence officials for their roles in launching the Russian collusion hoax. The dispute was over a key judgment in January 2017. In a 2017 intelligence community assessment, the ICA, that Russia had interfered in the election specifically because Putin and the Russian government aspired to help President-elect Trump election's chances. The senior intelligence officials pointed out the lack of evidence to substantiate the claim. Quote, "We have no intelligence to directly support this aspiration point," said one member of the small group of individuals working with Brennan, FBI Director James Comey, and National Director of National Intelligence James Clapper on the assessment of Russian activity that led up to the 2016 election. The official worried that the inclusion of the claim would open the IC to a line of very politicized inquiry that is sure to come up when this paper is shared with The Hill. A recent CIA analysis of the inclusion of this disputed key judgment noted the risk of including poorly supported judgments, since skeptical readers are inclined to reject an entire analysis if a single judgment appears exaggerated, biased, or unscripted. The experts did not agree that Russia had continued its practice of attempting to sow chaos in presidential elections. They believe the intelligence indicated Russia sought to weaken presumptive winner Hillary Clinton, and those efforts may have indirectly helped Trump. But they were concerned about the lack of evidence for the claim that became a cornerstone of the Russian collusion narrative, in which Trump was accused of conspiring with Russia to steal the 2016 election. Quote, Can you really prove Moscow is trying to get Trump elected? The official asked late in December 2016. Brennan called the dissenting individual into his office on December 30th, 2016, and had a lengthy meeting in which they articulated their serious concerns. Quote, "The assessment will stay the same," Brennan reported at the end of the meeting. And so there's a whole paper trail for this. They documented this. It's all in the reports. And so Brennan basically overruled this idea that, oh, well, wait a minute, we're going a little too far here. John Brennan did that? Oh, no, do tell. And so then the next article, will Brennan ever tell the truth? Of course he won't. He's a lying piece of shit. So anyway, there you go. All right, now, as I promised, I'm going to play my video that you may not have seen yet, just because, I don't know, because I'm vain. How's that sound? Okay. Let's see. Here it is. Oh, what the fuck is that? Okay, don't care. All right, so here's the video that you may not have seen yet, but it's in my links. And if you do me a favor, go watch it on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. The links are from yesterday. But here's what it was. Oh, fuck's sake. Sorry. I always forget these are muted automatically.
Did you know that entering the U.S. illegally is the same type of crime as jaywalking?
Is it?
They are both civil offenses. They are only misdemeanors. This is a parking ticket that I got last week. This is also a civil offense. What they've done is no different than letting your meter expire.
Okay, hold up, stop with that stupid argument. I've been hearing that so much lately, and it's completely false. Crossing our border illegally is part of the U.S. Federal Criminal Code. It's a criminal misdemeanor that if you go to court, you can get up to 6 months in jail, fines, and
yes, I paid the video, but I didn't play the response video, the stitch, the
criminal record, and you still get deported. And after that, if you get caught again, it's a felony. You get locked up for up to 2 years. And that's way more lenient than most other countries. And jaywalking or parking tickets, are you serious? Those are civil infractions, just a fine, no jail, no record. Comparing that to breaching a nation's border is idiotic. It's like comparing stealing televisions to forgetting to return a library book. Anyone peddling this nonsense is just wrong. Crossing the border illegally is a crime, period. If you say otherwise, you're just spreading ignorance.
All right, so that's it. Now, again, I asked a favor. This one will be the links day. Go watch it, make a comment, and share it. That's my biggest thing right now. If you see these, share these videos. Share these videos. I don't know what else to do. Send them to your grandma. Send them to your cousin. Put them on your feed. Share them on X or wherever. Share the videos. That would be greatly appreciated if you can. And if you can't, that's cool too. All right, guys. Is there anything else I got to do today? God, I got through my whole list today. I can't believe it. Probably because I started closer to on time. So anyway, yeah, let's do this again tomorrow. This is kind of fun. But I'm going to be putting out a lot more of the short videos, because I'm going to do a little more editing so they're a little more interesting. And hopefully that'll make some difference, at least on the stuff I do. Here are the links from today. Oops, what the hell did I just do there? Here are the links for today. Those will be in the description, and that's it for the show. Thank you, everyone who's been here. Thanks to the sponsors. Thanks to the people who are in the chat. Thanks to the people who shared the stream. Thanks to all of you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'll be back tomorrow, just like I am almost every weekday. What is it? The poll. Let me end the poll here. I forgot about that. So 50% of you had watched that video. 4% watched and shared, and so the rest did not. 39% nope. So yeah, please share videos if you can. I know it's a pain in the ass, but it helps a lot, and I appreciate it. All right, that's it. Got to go. See you tomorrow. My name's PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. Bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thanks for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.